Can Cory Booker protect meatpacking workers? Check this out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And there's some interesting news having to do with protecting meatpacking workers and the whole coronavirus thing. Donald Trump, of course, famously did an executive order forcing people to go back into meat packing houses or whatever they call them, factories, and putting them at risk of COVID. And because of the executive order, their employers can't be held responsible if they get sick and die, and many of them have. And now Congress is trying to do something about this. Tony Corbo, the senior government affairs representative with Food and Water Watch and Food and Water Action, foodandwaterwatch.org is the website, is on the line with us. Tony, welcome back to the program. Tell us about this legislation that Cory Booker is promoting.
Yeah, Senator Booker introduced a bill the other day, S4338, that essentially would stop the line speed waivers that USDA has granted during the pandemic to several, it's 20 meat packers and poultry plants around the country, so that they'd be able to increase their line speeds. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. In the middle of a pandemic, and you have workers getting sick and dying, you have inspectors getting sick and dying. This administration decided to grant line speed waivers so that they can increase the line speeds in these meat and poultry plants. And so what the bill does, and there's a companion bill in the House that was actually introduced 2 weeks ago by Congresswoman Marcia Fudge, which is H.R. 7521. And essentially what these bills do is, number one, they revoke the line speed waivers that USDA has granted during the pandemic. It stops the implementation of the new swine slaughter inspection system that essentially deregulates inspection in the hog slaughter plants, and increases the line speeds in those plants. It also requires that the Government Accountability Office do a thorough investigation in terms of the actions that USDA, the Department of Labor, and Health and Human Services, which the Centers for Disease Control is part of, what their actions have been during the pandemic in these meat and poultry plants. So it's a fairly comprehensive bill. It's been endorsed. I mean, this is an incredible coalition that came around to promote this bill. It's backed by labor. It's backed by animal welfare groups and food safety groups.
We're talking with Tony Corbo, the Senior Government Affairs Representative for Food and Water Watch and Food and Water Action. Tony, what are the chances of this getting passed? I mean, it sounds to me like this is the kind of legislation, since it's taking on Trump, head on, that Mitch McConnell will just ignor.
Well, I mean, we're putting a lot of pressure. We're putting a lot of pressure. There's negotiations going on in the next on this next COVID relief bill, and we would like to see this part of the package. There's other legislation that would require OSHA to issue an emergency rule to protect all frontline workers during the pandemic, giving them hazardous duty pay and actually have enforceable standards in these meatpacking plants, so that there's social distancing and requirement that the employees get protective equipment. So we're in the mix here in terms of the discussions on this package.
Do you have any Republicans on board, Tony?
Well, in the House, actually, there is a Republican. There's Jeff Van Drew who
I'm talking about the Senate.
Sides.
I mean, if you don't have a half a dozen senators, Republican senators, this thing is going to be toast.
I know. Well, I mean, we're trying to get some Republicans on there.
Is this the sort of thing where if people were to call their senators now at 202-224-3121 and raise some hell, that there might be a chance?
Yeah, I think that that would definitely help. That would definitely help, to reach out to some of those Republicans. And so we're building support. We're going to ask our members over the next few days to contact their office, their respective members of Congress and senators, urging them to co-sponsor this legislation.
Great. That number again is 202-224-3121. Tony Corbo with Food and Water Watch. Tony, thanks a lot for dropping by today. Great talking with you.
All right, thanks, Tom. Take care.
Yeah, good luck with this. This is important legislation, and I do appreciate your work on this.